Hi, everybody. Mondion Astral Oracles. I'm going to talk about the changing fabric of reality. I've called this video The Ghosts of 5D. What's happening to me personally is not only that I'm experiencing a lot of strange synchronicities that have this playful, funny way of almost teasing me. I feel like the village I just came from in southern Puglia was called Saviano, and their saint's day was Saint Martin's Day. We still celebrate that in Denmark by eating a duck the evening before, but that is November 11th, which of course is an 11/11. Then I arrived at this place where I'm staying for the night at 1:11, and then incidentally, Wikipedia told me that the Battle of Taranto, where I'm at right now, is was also on November 11, 1940. So there are these interesting patterns. But what I'm also experiencing is that um, I'm having this sense. It's almost if you're used to being in haunted houses of feeling like that ghostly presence. It's akin to that, but rather than a presence, a personal presence, it's almost as if time itself seemed to be overlapping or somehow spilling over into this particular time frame. And that's, of course, very pronounced when you're in a place that's as ancient as this. So walking down here from the station, I passed the cathedral, which was built in the Norman era around in the thousands, and the 11th century, and passing the Doric pillars here, that remains of the Temple of Poseidon that was built by the Spartan colonists who founded this place. And it was 2,500 years ago one of the biggest cities on the planet. Like Hannibal has laid siege to this place and everything. Like, it's incredibly ancient. So of course this would also be a place where you very much get that sense that the past is um, present in the present. But I have this weird and odd sensation that it is as if there are different layers of reality that will no longer stay separate, and they seem to be spilling into the now moment. And I want to consult with the Quanta, and I would also love if any of you have any experiences or reflections on this, if you'd leave a comment, because it's also separating, like, what's my own personal idiosyncratic experience of moving deeper and deeper into these strange synchronicities and etheric energies, and what's essentially a more general experience that's going on. Well, first for people who are attuned and attentive to these developments, but that will then spill over to the wider species at large. So I'd like to get the Quanta's perspective on what's going on with these ghosts, with this idea that time seems to be becoming one. And with that, I send you much love wherever you are. Hello, beautiful friends. From the highest dimension, from the subtle richness of reality itself, from these fine textures that keep everything connected, sewn together into the tapestry of the all, this wonderful reality we share that we call the multiverse. We, the Quanta, we greet you and we extend our love to you in this now moment. What our friend here is describing is, to him, an experience of the now moment not being able to differentiate itself from other energies, different past patterns that still exist in the now moment that you are seated in. But from our perspective, this is rather to be thought of as an expansion of consciousness. Consciousness has the quality of a perimeter. It encases something. And so, encasing something, there is also a separation present. When you move up this vibrational scale, these ascending ladders to heaven where we reside, or into this deep mystery, uncovering the kernel of the deep unchanging truth of everything, you can not leave anything behind. All that you are, all that is being brought into this fulfilling moment, this recognition of everything present in this one situation, this one experience you find yourself in. For us, therefore, it is very natural that this is a process that is happening as you move into a more fulfilled understanding of who you are. Another aspect of this that our friend here has also been experiencing, that many of you have been toying around with, is that you may sense that your past is becoming reconfigured. Your personal past is changing. You are seeing things uncovered, and by seeing them uncovered, you are able to change their energy trajectories. This is also what you sometimes know as karma. This is the idea that there are certain determining patterns running into the conscious experience of you in the now moment. These determining patterns you often experience as past. You experience them as, let's say, stored unconsciousness built into the moment that is trying to release itself by determining what is going on in the now moment. But to us, this is indeed simply, let's call it the ballast of you being 4D creatures, you being material creatures primarily, that you sense that these lower dimensions are very crass. They are almost like an experience of incarceration, something that keeps you shut into a space that you cannot alter, that you cannot break free from. And what is happening now is indeed that reality itself is becoming expansive. And so, how would you be able to set the parameters of free flowing consciousness if more of what had already been didn't spill into your reality? This repeats itself on a personal level, but it also repeats itself on a universal level. And this is where you may sense that ghosts are haunting the streets in daylight, that certain spirits are walking amongst you. These spirits never passed away. These people who you connect them to, who gave rise to these energy patterns ingrained in reality, they are, from our perspective, just next door. From our perspective, there would still be a very, very close energetic configuration that aligns with this space you are in right now and the space 2,500 years ago. Of course, this era is nothing in the span of cosmological history. it is also nothing in the span of a development of a conscious species. So to us, these energy patterns, these ghostly apparitions, they are right next to you. And therefore, it is only natural as your consciousness expands that it is still reeling slightly from its definitions. It is not quite able to sort out what it needs to create in this situation, this moment where you are creating your own reality, and what it would still like to bring in and integrate from the past. How does it, let's say, absolve or release these karmic patterns by seeing them? And how does it let go of these patterns and then begin to determine reality anew? This is the great challenge that you are facing. Do you feel that you can move beyond what you have been as human beings before you have also seen all that went before facing into your reality? Do you feel that you can take off for the stars before you have bid human history and the project of human development, the gestation of the human star beings on this particular planet in this particular solar system? Can that really truly be released before everything has phased into your now moment, into this situation where you create your own reality? That is the question. Because of course not. Of course you need to expand. You need to become universal. You need to become all of this before you become something more. You may notice that you are already quite skilled at separating the lower dimensional experiences or the 3D experiences. That is, you rarely feel too flustered by what's going on with the objects in your physical arrangement of space. As long as these objects don't arrest your attention, you feel they're doing their thing. They don't need to be addressed. They're just playing into the environment. You don't even necessarily register them. You may also feel that you have grown more and more skilled in noticing thought patterns and thereby cultivating and delineating for the experience the process of language and mind. You have grown more skilled in understanding that these are indeed thoughts that you can regulate, understand, see, expand, and thereby use them as a type of starting point for a new realization. But with anything new, you must also use the parameters you already have to try to understand what it is that is coming into your experience. And so, wisely, you are not stumbling into the 5D. Rather, you are drawing the maps of yourself, of your identity, your position as a historical being, your idea of a fulfillment of the human project as an extension of the universal human codes that you embed individually or express individually and then embed in reality with your intention. These are being fulfilled, thereby, you are drawing the map of where you have come from. You are leaving nothing to coincidence. There is a greater and greater detail filling in to your understanding of who you are. And once this is done, you will notice that these etheric patterns that may be puzzling you at the moment, what to do with the sensation that the Normans are already here They're already setting up their kingdoms, even though that was 1,000 years ago in your understanding of time, or that Spartan colonists may already be founding this city in the future, even though this also took place in the past. We are deliberately confusing you today because we want you to understand that this confusion of experience is a symptom of expansion. And so there is a certain volatility in the ethers at this moment, at this present juncture, energetically, where you are moving from fixed beings into potential beings. You are not being determined anymore by the karmic patterns. Rather, you are being expanded into a future, something that is attracting you by potential rather than determining you by happenstance. We are searching for the words here in the mind. It is such a big concept to fold into this consciousness we sense. But we would like you to understand or approach this in the most simple categories. That is, from an experience of being closed and being pushed, you are moving into an experience of being opened and being drawn. So, can you feel the thrill of solving the puzzle, of putting one piece together with the next? Can you feel the thrill of this jumble of pieces, of elements of time coming together into a unified image? Can you feel that this image, it is already complete, and it is simply asking you kindly if you would like to playfully solve it and experience its unity with amazement, wonder, and gratitude. Therefore, we extend our deep love to you, dear human beings. We send our blessings, and we let you know that in this reality that we are seated in, everything comes together, moves apart in a dance, and this dance is reality itself. So have fun stepping, jumping, skipping through these hoops of instances into the unified whole. Our love to you. I hope that made some sense to you guys. It was a very confusing message to me simply because it it's almost as if they're bending my mind to try to comprehend something that's too big for it to understand while these channelings happen. And I also sense the energies are becoming easier to connect to and embody, but also more and more intense in their expression. So I hope it served you, and I send you my love.